Hello, I'm Wayne Visser and I'm Director of CSR International, and I'm here in Auckland today with Rachel Brown, who's founder and CEO of the Sustainable Business Network of New Zealand. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
I wanted to kick off just with your views on CSR or sustainability in New Zealand. Is there anything distinctive, anything exciting that's going on here?
Yeah. After 2009, which wasn't a great year, we've had a re-emergence of sustainability in New Zealand, and it's changed because it started to get a strategic focus. And what we've seen is during the recession, some of the businesses that were probably doing CSR 101 and using it as more of a kind of a green branding strategy have dropped away, and they're rethinking about how they do this stuff. Whereas the companies that have been more genuinely involved in this have started to get really interesting about their strategies and starting to look at new products and services development. For example, NZI, which is an insurance company here in New Zealand, have got really focused on climate change. And the key thing that they've started to do is to think about how they play a really important role in influencing their client base. So they've developed a whole range of products which essentially give favour to people who are doing things like driving smaller cars or having energy efficient homes. So it's a really strong signal that's gone out to their client base, but also it's affecting the supply chain. Because through NZI is a massive purchaser of whiteware and things like that through insurance, and they're sending that signal out to all the suppliers and saying, we want the most efficient stuff that you guys can keep. So that's been a really great movement starting to happen. We've seen it in some of the banks, and we've certainly seen that in some quite mainstream big corporates. So the corporate sector's been shifting. But what's been really getting me excited has been this growth of young, and I'm guessing they're late 20s, early 30s people who are smart. They're really socially focused, they're really interested in saving the world, but they're also interested in doing that through new and novel business models. So it's kind of like an NGO meets business space. And we've just in the last 6 months or so started to see that being formalised in New Zealand, which it hasn't been. So we're pulling these kind of social entrepreneurs together into rooms and seeing what happens, which is amazing. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed people who are addressing a whole range of things like far improved kind of waste reduction services, better than what we've had in the past, or health systems that are new and better, or information or movement, or it's great. It's really cool.
Now, when we think about New Zealand internationally, it has a strategic role in a number of industries, particularly agriculture is a big one. Tourism, it obviously has a role. Are there any innovations or progress being made in these sectors?
Yeah, I mean, it's from my perspective, it's frustrating, particularly with parts of agriculture. Some parts are moving faster than others, but I think it's fair to say that farmers in New Zealand tend to be quite conservative and quite old school. They've done their farming through families and generations the same way for a long time. And I think the influence that's coming through is happening from their kids. And so the children are starting to come through and say, Mum or Dad, don't like the way we've been doing this, we should be fencing off streams or whatever. But also what's scary is that for the first time New Zealand has had a cage farming, a massive proposal put through to put up cows in cages. And we're well known for, happy cows in this country. And that worries me, although the people of New Zealand have responded to it in a very negative way, which has been great, and they've been trying to stop it, and it has been stalled. Every time you feel like there's a little bit of progress, some quite threatening things start to come through. But I think it's a very slow process with the farming sector, and people do understand that there's risk around not keeping up that happy cow image for the country. So, yeah.
Okay. Another area that perhaps New Zealand is somewhat progressive is in the energy space. I'm aware that is it something like 70% of your energy is renewables?
It used to be. It's getting to 60 now.
which is high by international comparison.
Used to be better.
Okay, and also you've got an emissions trading scheme here. So is there anything happening in that whole energy climate change space?
Well, this is going to make me sound like I'm very pro the previous government, because I was. We were really progressive 2 years ago in trying to help drive New Zealand as a leader in one country that could be renewable, fully renewable energy. We've got the natural resources here. But there is still a little bit of NIMBY going on in the country where people don't want a wind farm, or they don't want another power station, a hydro station. So we're getting more pressure happening on the non-renewables now in the country, which has happened in the last few years. But at the same time, there is starting to be, with this new government, more understanding about the benefit if New Zealand was 100% renewable, attracting businesses that are looking for lighter carbon footprints, etc., etc. So that's starting to come back. So we lost a bit of ground for 2 years, but it is certainly coming back, which is exciting.
Now, you mentioned the government, and I know you've had some experience working in local and national government. What's been the role here? Are you seeing any progressive moves in government?
Well, the thing that's happened in this country, we had the recession in 2008, 2009 really was tough for us. And then we had a change of government at about the same time. And then they've introduced a whole restructuring of local councils. So they're growing mega councils now. And that's actually put a lot of the kind of community, social, environmental innovation on hold. So a lot of the stuff that we were driving is sitting at the moment. So it is a frustrating time, but there's this build-up of community now that's starting to get ready to go, okay, now we've got these new structures in place, let's get cracking.
Okay, well, thanks very much for sharing your thoughts today.
That's all right.
Good luck with it going forward.
Thanks.
All right.
It was great.